What's going on YouTube? Chris back with another video, and today I'm excited to bring you all another smartwatch. This is the Mentech Xe1, a smartwatch meant for fitness tracking, and this is what I'm going to be going over with you today, unboxing, and then later on full review of my experiences using it. This was provided to me by Mentech for review. They did not pay me or anything like that regarding this video. I'll leave the link down in the description where you can pick this up. You can pick it up on Amazon. Right now it's 170 bucks. There is a $20 coupon, and then there's an additional 40% off coupon, which is XE1 deal 40. The text will be right here for that code. So if you pick it up on Amazon, you will be helping out my channel. That is my affiliate link. So that's actually a really fantastic deal. On their website, Mentech's website, it's normally 200 bucks. So you're already getting it $40 cheaper than their website, which is fantastic. So let's get right into it. They provided me with the black variant. They do have multiple different colors: red, yellow, white, and then of course this black. So let's kind of see what this is all about first and foremost. All right, let's go ahead and get this opened and see what this Xe1 watch is all about. Now, I can tell you right away that this is not a Android Wear watch or anything like that, or Samsung. This is going to be purely focused on fitness tracking. So there's probably going to be some exclusions of features, but you know what? So far, unboxing. Oh, okay. So that is actually a pretty nice little unboxing experience. It feels like a regular watch. So we have the watch front and center right away. We pull that out. We'll set that aside. Okay, we got a really nice thick booklet here. Certificate of conformity, basically. So pass some QA booklets. We have our charging cable. It uses Type C, and then we also have, what is this? Okay, I have a little screwdriver. Interesting. You would not expect a screwdriver for a watch, but we have a screwdriver. This cable I am interested in because this is Type C. This has a nice kind of aluminum casing for the Type C part, and then we have the magnetic pogo pin charging dock. It's a pretty short cable, unfortunately, so I hope that you have a Type C plug near a little nightstand or something like that where you can plug this into. So do keep that in mind. This is, I'd say this is less than 3 feet. I would say it's maybe 2.5 feet. So let's go ahead and get that set aside. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the watch. It's surrounded by this nice padded foam container with some more foam inside. So nice presentation, I will give them that. And then our watch itself. So Mentech with a nice little peel on the front. We'll peel that off, set that aside. This is a very rugged looking watch, I will say that, which goes into a lot about the specs regarding this device. So it's a 1.2 inch LCD display right up here up front, 240 by 240 pixel resolution. This has a 5 ATM rating, so you're going to be able to go outdoors. The ruggedness, water resistance, dust, and things like that. Now inside of it, this runs a 280 milliamp hour battery, so you're going to get multi-day battery life out of this. They're claiming 14 days of battery life with a standby mode of 50 days. Now let's take a look at the actual body itself. We have a nice kind of metal bezel around the top with kind of like these screw-like adornments around the front of it. I'm curious as to what the material of this. So it doesn't say anything about the material of the actual watch. They do say it is Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the front, so that is at least good. You're going to get that scratch resistance of the front glass. We have essentially here a nice, they say, skin-friendly fluoro rubber band, which the rubber actually does feel pretty nice, slick, soft silicone type of material with a magnetic clasp right up there. And we have, looks like just two buttons here on the side, and that is it. At the bottom you have your sensors, and then that is what the screwdriver is for. So if we can see here, we have screws that are flatheads holding in the actual watch band itself. And that's how you're going to remove the band. If you wanted to change the band, you can do that. So let's go ahead and power it up. It is currently dead, actually. Okay, yep, the watch is dead, so I'm going to need to charge this, and we'll be right back. All right, everyone, we are back. So it was actually not dead. Plugging it into, or setting it onto the dock, actually just powered it on, and essentially it booted right up really quick. There was really no need to wait for a boot up, essentially. But what we're going to go ahead and do, it says to download the Mentech Wear app. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and that is the app right here. This is a Chinese company, I will say that, and that is, I don't know what that says in Chinese, but we're going to go ahead and install this now. And pressing this bottom button basically dims or darkens the display, as we can see there. Both of them so far do that. And then it's going to basically scan this QR code once we create an account. Welcome to Mentech. Start to use. We're going to go ahead and tap on that to scan the QR code. Alrighty. There it is, Mentech Watch Xe1. Go ahead and pair that. I feel like this is going to be very similar to like a Xiaomi watch, to where it kind of tracks and has its own separate app and pretty much notifications. But we're going to take a look more into the app itself. Yes, we're going to go ahead and use location. Alrighty, so now that this is done, you have to grant Mentech, the app, access to notifications, so that way it can send those notifications to your watch. You don't have to do that in case you worry about your privacy and giving the app access to that. Also, you can give access to contacts, call logs, things like that, so that way you can initiate a call, be notified of what contact is actually reaching out to you. We'll go ahead and upgrade the firmware as well to make sure we're on the latest version, to make sure that we are giving you the best experience of any sort of bugs. So we'll be right back once this is done. Alrighty, so we are back, everyone, and that update took just about maybe 5 minutes or so. Initially, we're going to go through the app real quick. First, once you go through the account creation, you basically have access to whether or not you want to choose your various preferred units of measure, such as meters, miles, feet, that sort of thing. And if whether you want military time or standard 12-hour. Once you do that, here is the app itself. So the app looks like up front we have all of the data in terms of tracking your steps, sleep, heart rate, exercise, stress levels, VO2 max, your breathing rate, and then we have access to start an exercise, whether it be cycling, running, walking, and all of that. We can edit the different sports in terms of which one you prefer. Interesting enough that in the in the promotional material, they talk about swimming, and they show a guy swimming to show that it's actually waterproof, but yet in here it doesn't have any swimming exercise activity. We have our device here. You have access to various watch faces. Of course, because like I said, this is not Wear OS or anything like that. You don't have an app store to install apps. This runs a completely separate type of operating system. Just do keep that in mind. This runs basically 256 megs of RAM, so you're not going to be able to really do much in terms of like stream music from this. So do keep that in mind. You have to have your watch with your phone in terms of notifications. Of course, there's no NFC to do tap payments on this as well. So health and heart tracking, everything is enabled in terms of you have access, if you're a female, of your cycle. Interesting. Walking, let's see here, if you are walk around reminder, okay. Measure, record your blood oxygen level. That's something that you can enable. It's disabled out of the box. All of your calls, so you'll get notified of text messages and calls in here as well. You can find the device if you misplace it. Weather notifications, intelligent exercise recognition. Yeah, so again, no swimming whatsoever in this. Interesting. And that is it. So let's take a look at the watch itself, what some of these functions are. So we press the top button. That brings up kind of an activity type of apps, essentially, what you're doing. There's a compass, so this does have built-in GPS, so you can at least go do your exercise running, whatever it is, and keep your watch on you, and then come back and sync your activity to your phone. Music. So yeah, so this is basically just going to be what if you're playing music on your phone, you can at least pause next and things like that on the watch itself. Stopwatch, timer. Here's some settings. Vibration is on high, low, or none. Yeah, let's keep it at low. That's actually really strong for it being on low. Let's get this on here. I will say this band is actually quite large. The watch itself is quite large for my little wrists, but there we go. It's actually fits pretty well. These bands actually kind of sit downwards on the actual from the body of the watch. And it hugs the wrist fairly well. The buttons on the side are clicky, easy to press. Oh, I don't want that. Okay, so I just started an activity here somehow. Yes, we're gonna end workout. Okay, that's fine. So the top button gets you to all of these like various apps. And then this bottom brings you to the various activities, whatever workout. So okay, open water swimming, pool swim. Okay, so it's here on the watch, but nothing in the actual app itself. So that's odd. You can hide different sports there too. But this watch itself is not your traditional display. As you can see here, this is like a very low power mode there, and you press it and then you turn on now the LCD. The colors are not vibrant whatsoever. You can see a little bit of color there. There is some jankiness in terms of fluidity as you scroll. It's not smooth, like is too low, take a break. Okay, interesting. So anywho, it's not, like I said, a Wear OS or a Galaxy Watch or an Apple Watch in terms of smoothness. It doesn't have these really nice animations. It's really just functional. If you long press on the watch face, you can change the watch face as well. So there's that. And let's kind of take a look at some of these other watches. So we have some features: practical, simple. So I will say they do have a good bit of various watch faces here. So that's pretty neat. A lot of them are very fitness focused, of course, with this being a fitness focused watch, I would expect that. The new arrivals. So those are, yeah, a good amount of watch faces. So we're going to go ahead and, so you have to install them on the watch each time. It just takes just a couple seconds. And there's the plus, and there you go, Mentech date, and there is our time. Now I do want something maybe a little bit easier to read in terms of time and kind of some stats, such as my walking. I wish this opened a bigger view of that. These are all really small to see up close in terms of the details of what they're actually saying. It would have been nice once you tapped on one, it made it into a larger view of it. But who knows, maybe I can give that feedback to Mentech and you can maybe do that in an update. So here is the installation. Just again, like I said, just takes a couple seconds to install. But overall, this watch is not that heavy. I was expecting it to weigh a lot more than it does. Of course, depending on the size of your wrist, it may be big on you, but there is that display. Again, colors aren't really there. It's not a vibrant display in terms of colors, but you're going to be able to, let's see here. Okay, there's a flashlight supposedly. Night mode is on there too. Night mode is off. And then there is our display screen brightness level. Do not disturb is on there. So you'll receive notifications for your various apps that you have installed, Gmail, social media apps, texts, things like that, but you're not going to be able to open the app really and let's see here. So you're not going to be able to like respond to a text, email, things like that. You can pretty much only dismiss, delete, do basics in that regard. So from your watch face, if you swipe left, you'll get your weather and your location. The kind of weather report. You swipe up from the bottom, you get kind of a settings quick toggle menu. Swipe from the right, you'll see your steps, calories burned, your weekly steps, and then being able to start a activity at that point. So again, bottom to go to various sports and activities you want to start. Top brings up your various apps and also goes home too. And then a swipe down goes to various notifications there. It does the heart tracking, sleep tracking, all the things in terms of tracking. You're not, like I said, this is definitely fitness focused. You're going to get multi-day battery life out of this. It does charge very quick, so 0 to 100% in just about an hour. So with that, you also have 14-day of battery life on this. So you're not going to have to worry about charging this that often, pretty much ever. You just throw it on the charger when you're getting ready one day, and then you're going to be good to go for another week or two. So with all the different things turned on in terms of tracking, we'll see how the battery life is on this. So I'm going to go ahead and wear this for a bit and kind of maybe do a hike. We're going into the weekend, and I'll be able to kind of share some feedback of kind of what my experience is with this overall. So yes, at this point, we're going to go ahead and give it a few days and check back at this point in the video for kind of some conclusions, experiences, tracking, and we'll be able to look at the GPS accuracy and what all the experience is like when you're actually doing an activity. All right, so here we are with the Mentech Smart Fitness Watch and going through a fitness activity in just terms of walking here on a beautiful cloudy day. So basically we have, this is kind of your fitness watch face. You have your time, you also have your calories burned, your distance, and your heart rate. So essentially on the outer ring, you can kind of see the different color shades. These are your different kind of like heart projections in terms of your different areas of how high your heart rate is. And if you just press this button, you swipe up, you can see your steps, your pace, average pace, continue swiping, your altitude climbed, anaerobic training effect, and you go back home. So far this has been quite good. Overall, the watch has actually been very comfortable on my wrist. I haven't really needed to adjust it. It sits quite well around my wrist, as opposed to my also other TicWatch Pro 5 that I reviewed, which you can check out up there. But in terms of overall accuracy with the distance, it took a minute in the beginning when I started my activity to actually gain a GPS location. But other than that, that's been really my only gripe with this. You can also just press this button at the bottom to cycle through the various windows, these different screens. Right now, I had an issue with the app and my phone. The app continued to force close earlier. I had to pretty much delete the app and reinstall it, and that's why it shows it's disconnected. So I'll need to just re-add the device to my phone and be able to then resync all the data. But accuracy in terms of distance, it's been very on par with the Apple Watch that my wife owns. So we've been able to kind of see pretty close in terms of just the overall various stats that we have had during this walk. Of course, we've stopped here and there, and overall there's our altitude, cumulative rise in meters. There's no way to change this into feet, unfortunately, so you do the math of converting meters to feet. All right, everyone, so we are back here in the studio. As I just mentioned in that brief little kind of walk hike excursion that I had with my wife, overall the experience with the Mentech Xe1 was actually quite impressive. I liked the feel of it on my skin. It wasn't in the way. It didn't catch on like my clothing or anything like that, even though it does seem a little bulky. But with how this watch band kind of sits angled down, it gives a really nice snug fit. A couple things I did notice though when coming back after our walk is when I tried to repair this back to my phone. In the phone itself, it shows there was no devices, and in order for me to actually repair this back to my phone, it said that I had to pretty much essentially as a result, it wipes the device and any sort of previous logging. So if you go to connect more, resetting will result in erasing all your data. So if you have any issues with the actual watch, do keep in mind you are going to lose all of this data that it's collected. So my entire run that I did, or walk I should say, is pretty much going to be lost. It couldn't actually sync to the Mentech app, so I can't actually see what, in terms of accuracy, the actual GPS tracking and things like that, which is really unfortunate. I wish, because basically the phone, I was using a Pixel 7, updated to the latest Android 14, but on top of that, the November-October security patches occurred, and pretty much I noticed that's when I started having all the forced closes of the Mentech app on my device. So there might be some oddness there, so that caused issues for me. But overall, the display, I was glad to actually see that it was pretty readable, even out in sunlight. I would say at nighttime, you're not going to really be able to see this all too well, just because there's no backlight there. But I want to just kind of point out the actual marketing that Mentech does and uses on their website as well as their Amazon isn't 100% honest. As you can see here, on the display in real world use, it's not as like vibrant and clear OLED, kind of like they market on the Amazon listing or even their website. It shows a completely different experience than what we see here, something that's a lot more pixelated versus something that's very crisp, clean, vibrant, colorful. That's just not something you get on the actual watch. So do keep that in mind when you're buying this. It's not going to be like what they show in the marketing imagery. One other thing I wish is that this charging cable was longer. That's just the only other gripe I also have. So just do keep that in mind, that this is going to need to be near a charging outlet, or at least close to a wall where you have a charger. And then of course something else comes to mind is the actual app and where the data is stored, hosted, the servers and all that. It is a Chinese company. There's no sense of kind of, even when you go to the App Store on Google Play, all the app name is in Chinese. It's not really a great first experience. Doesn't really instill a lot of trust. So I can't answer any of those questions in terms of kind of your data, privacy, things like that. You do with it with what you will. I'll let you make that call. And so it's just something to also be mindful of if you really just want to make sure you're doing your due diligence with what products you're going to be using as well. But overall, I think in terms of distance and those sort of things, the accuracy was pretty spot on to an Apple Watch, things like that. So yeah, I really appreciate Mentech for sending this over. Hopefully this was informative to you all for watching this. Thank you so much for sticking through this video. If you got to this point, really thank you so much. If you guys have additional questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, of course, leave them down below in the comment section. And I'll leave any links below as well, like I said, where you can pick this up and with any sort of promotional coupon codes as well. Thank you all for watching, everyone. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video.